Walking down the avenue where we used to play. The house on the corner is still the same today as it was when we were children, innocent as innocent can be. I borrowed all your records, you borrowed mine from me. We sat and talked for hours in a box hung in a tree, and we stole your daddy's last bottle of gin. Those were the times, those were the ways. So take me back, so take me back to the good old days. Looking back from here, I can see that we were blind to the burdens we would shoulder and the struggles we would find. But growing made us strong as strong can be. Those were the times, those were the ways. So take me back, so take me back to the good old days. Ice cream until our heads hurt. We were trading candy bars and sticks of bubble gum, trying not to laugh in church. Do you remember? Like I remember. And oh, those were the times. Ooh, those were the ways. Oh, so take me back, take me back.
You, I hope, are watching Escape Adulthood Live, your number one source for long-lasting, fast-acting, physician-approved adultitis relief.
On this week's show, we're reporting on our family's recent sponge war, addressing the soda versus pop debate, and talking about the best way to fix the world that the news isn't talking about.
Greetings and salutations, everyone.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for shenanigating with us and staying with us with those wonderful adultitis-ridden technical difficulties.
Yeah, apparently the adultitis did not want you to see tonight's show.
So I'm glad you're here.
Keep it on the down low. Stay with us. Apparently, it's a big one.
Well, obviously, we're starting out big with the pop versus soda debate.
This is not pop. Devil Woman?
Pop. All the way around. All the way around.
Is what sane people call soda, which appears a lot of people here also refer to it as soda. Sarah.
Join me on the...
Wait. Soda pop. That is...
What's that? Oh, you're
that's
such a
working
peacemaker.
both ends, right?
This is the story. We grew up about 10 miles apart, and our town...
There's your Ottawa person, Daniel.
Danny. Ottawa was all pop all the time, like no question. you drive over to Peru to go hang out at the Peru Mall.
You know, in the more upscale establishment of Peru, not the
soda
backwater.
100% of the time. This was a huge conflict in our dating relationship. The fact that we made it through this conflict, ensured that we could, get through anything.
I think this is what settles it to me. Is Leah says Pop is an old man, which is true. I'm not drinking an old man. I'm drinking soda.
Well, there's baking soda. It's confusing
Now,
to use soda.
Helen says Pop,
Helen.
Suzanne is on Team Kim.
Yes!
I mean, if you want to, Jim, on the other hand, sees the light. Jim! He knows what's what.
No, so this is a big one. We knew that this would be some conflict. One thing that we can both agree on is that you don't call it Coke.
No.
My sister's from Texas. Everything's Coke. No.
There's a rumor that in the South that they call everything Coke, and I don't know if that's really true or not, but that doesn't
7-Up, a Coke
make
Sprite,
any sense whatsoever.
A Coke. What happens if you just want Coke? A Coke, Diet Coke?
Yeah, Coke.
This doesn't make sense to me. So we can see common ground, but thank you to all the Team Kims out there.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry for your loss.
On a lighter note, we said we were going to talk about our sponge wars. Yeah, so those of you who are a part of the Escape Adulthood League know that my Whimsy Wednesday post, I'm always trying to share some fun things with you. Last week, I shared these cute little sponge things that you basically cut sponges and then you put them...
Explain this. How many strips do you cut it into?
Well,
3, 2?
I'll be honest. Lucy made these. So
I have no idea.
I have no idea. You just cut the sponges long and then you kind of put them together with a rubber band. The coolest thing about this, you don't have to worry about the hours spent filling water balloons.
Here we go. Some of you who are remembering the coffee chats from the early days of coronavirus will know that I nearly lost an eye. I was impaled almost many times because Kim has this way of invading my space, and
sometimes I don't even know
scary.
He's here.
She's like, you gotta have all this. So,
all right. So anyway, this is so much easier than filling water balloons, and you could just stick them right in the buckets of water, and off you go. So we decided last week, because it was so hot, to give these a try.
Yeah. So we made a little video of our shenanigans. It's been a rough week. Adultitis has been out of control. Today is a particularly hot and humid day, which has not helped anything. Kim has planned a outdoor water fight with the kids and popsicles. They don't know that I'm going to be coming in as a special guest.
Sponge fight!
Get him, guys! Get him! Get him! Get him!
Fun, right? We had fun. I saw that. Let's see. Lynn asked a question, Kim.
Yes.
What are those?
Yeah, just rubber bands.
Rubber bands.
Okay. So I know, there is people have concerns about the environmental impact of balloons too. So this is just a really fun, cheap way to have a little, excitement. The kids literally had no idea Jason was coming. It was so epic.
Just look at how many times I got whipped in the head with one of those things. It was like
close range. They do hurt a little bit when they're wet. So
not fun. But
right.
Getting it in the face, that is.
Yeah.
The rest of it was fun, but
it's a good way to kick
They
off
turned on me.
summer.
They turned on me after a while.
And then in slow motion, I didn't realize that when I hit Rose, she literally fell over. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It It was every person for themselves, I'll tell you.
Right.
Well, we want you to share this if you don't mind.
Yes, please go ahead and push share there.
Now that it's actually working, it'd be good to share.
Yeah, it's been neat. We definitely are getting some new viewers, and that share button kind of gets it out there. So thank you for all of you who will push that little share button tonight.
Yep, shows up in their feeds. They can join in and have fun with us. And I definitely tonight we're going to be talking about some cool things, particularly something that I think would really help our world and our country. And it amazes me that no one in the news is talking about this. It's a very simple but powerful weapon that we have at our disposal. No one's talking about it. We're going to talk about that in a second. But first...
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yes. I know last week we talked about our Escape Adulthood live virtual experience, right? Was that last week or the week before?
Who knows?
And I think Suzanne Neeson might be on the chat tonight, who hosted us this afternoon for a school district in West Chicago. We got to help them kind of wind down their year, celebrate all their awesomeness, which was a really awesome thing, which is kind of why we're still a little dressed up. From
Yeah,
that.
it's the 2 shows in one day.
Yeah.
Wearing the same shirt.
Thank you, Suzanne,
still not wearing pants.
Inviting us.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
But-
get the
Go
nice
ahead.
shirt though.
I
So
know,
here's
yeah.
something we're excited about. I don't know that we really
we've
showed
showed
too
this.
much of this, but you've got this shine on painting, and we have a beach towel.
Yeah.
Is this showing up
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah. The bright,
Hello.
obviously the shine on artwork. It's super soft too. But
It
yeah,
is.
a couple years ago we added some beach towels to the mix. Is that right?
Yeah, we have
For a
I think
summit,
like
maybe?
4 or 5 possibly beach towels.
Yeah.
And we are actually going to give this one away as I ball it up at the end of the show. So stick around. Stick around if you want a chance to win that bad boy. You do not want to miss it.
I also need to warn you that Jason has me set up with some buttons over here. So
Are you guys having a killer time?
watch out.
Now she has access to the sound controls. So it's on, you guys.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
This here is Antonio Gwynn. He is 18 years old. He is a senior in high school, and he lives in Buffalo, New York. And like many of us, he was watching all of the unrest that has been going on the last week and saw a lot of the damage that was happening in Buffalo. And he decided it was time for action. Now, if you've watched any sort of news, you probably have heard that we are at war. And I think that's actually true, but it's not the kind of war that we've been led to believe. It's not a war between races. It's not a war between political parties. It is not a war between people who call soda pop and people who call pop soda. It is a war between light and darkness. That's what it is. I can't help but think every time I see the people fighting and being angry and nervous and frustrated and hurt. We talked about that last week, that hurt people hurt people. And a lot of us are afraid, and we've been afraid for months now between the pandemic and all of the stuff that we see happening all around us. And what we really are in right now is a battle between light and darkness. And understanding that is the key to victory. Makes me kind of sad when I see all the people coming on the news talking about different things that need to be done, different actions that need to be taken. And the one thing that they always leave out is probably the most important thing. It's the one thing that you can do when you feel helpless and hopeless, but want to make a difference. It's the thing that works when you're afraid. It even works when you're angry. It works every single time it's tried, even if it doesn't turn out the way we may have hoped. You might be wondering, what in the world am I referring to? I'm talking about prayer. That's right, prayer. In this war that we are in, prayer is the most powerful weapon that we have. Now, if you're not the praying type, that's okay. If everything in your life is going dandy, that's totally cool. This might be a good time to grab a soda. It will only take a few minutes. But for those of you who understand the power of this thing, I encourage all of us, I implore all of us to be more fervent in our prayer, to double down. We need to pray harder. We need to pray more genuinely, more often, and we need to pray first. I don't know about you, but sometimes prayer is sort of like a last resort for me. When I think, I can figure this out, I know how to do this, I got it, and then everything blows up, things burn down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I probably should maybe pray. I don't know how pray works. It's above my pay grade. All I know is that when we pray, good things happen. When we pray, impossible things suddenly become possible. And that's what we need more of than we've ever had before. Now, the cool thing about prayer is it's very versatile. It's sort of like a Swiss Army knife, a spiritual Swiss Army knife. You can pray for our leaders and our politicians. You can pray for good ideas, like what is something I can do to make this community better or make this problem I'm dealing with better. You can pray for peace. You can pray for patience, for justice, for wisdom, for grace, for understanding, for self-control. And frankly, we need all of that stuff right now. Here's another neat thing about prayer. You don't have to know some secret words for it to work. Sometimes we get caught up. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding that like, I don't know how to do it right. I don't know if I'm saying the right words. There is no wrong way to do it. In fact, the easiest thing, and all you really have to do, is to turn to God and say the perfect one-word prayer. Help. Help me to know what to do. Help me to know what to say. Help me to love my enemies. That last one's kind of hard, isn't it? The whole love your enemies thing. I mean, it's really easy for us to kind of ward ourselves off from the people we disagree with and kind of only hang out and talk to and listen to like the people who agree the same things we agree. Because the other people, the others, they're obviously misinformed, ignorant, and possibly evil incarnate. But what if? What would happen if you went to the timeline of your arch rival on Facebook? What would happen? You know, the one I'm talking about is the one that always is leaving the snide comments, the holier-than-thou proclamations, the stupid memes. What if you went to their timeline and posted something like this? Something that was like, you know, we don't always agree. We don't often agree on many things. But I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate the passion you have for this issue. Whatever the issue is, right? I really appreciate the passion you have for this issue. And I appreciate that you're trying to make the world better. That's it. That's it. What if that's all you did? What if you knew where that person actually lived? Maybe they work at your office. What if you included what you were going to write in a status update? And what if you put it in a card? What if in that card you put a gift card to Starbucks or some of their favorite place of theirs? Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you have to agree with them. They may be completely wrong. I'm not saying you have to agree with them. And I'm not saying that you have to do some sort of Vulcan mind trick to try to convince them they're wrong in some subtle, subliminal message sort of way. Like that ruins the whole thing. Just notice one redeeming quality about that person and tell them. And it might not have to do about anything to do with the issues that you might be conflicted about. It might be something like this. You might say, you know what? I have no idea how difficult it must be to be a single parent. But you seem to be really doing a good job. I can tell that you really love your kids. What would happen if you wrote that? What would happen if you said that? I'll tell you what would happen. What you've done is you've tapped into the amazing universal power of reciprocity. Reciprocity is when you give something without any regard for getting something back. When you give something good, good comes back. You can call it karma. You can call it reaping what you sow. I don't care what you call it, but it is true and it's real. And I think we need a little bit more of that. And so the prescription I have for all of us, including myself, right? I am a professional reminderer, and I need these reminders just as much as anyone. Do something this week that's insanely generous for someone you disagree with or don't particularly like. That's the other kind of magical thing about prayer, is that we can offer up actions as prayer. We can offer up chores we hate or tasks that are difficult as a form of prayer. And sometimes I think that's the best kind of prayer, the prayer of self-sacrifice. I know of a priest in our community who is planning a prayer walk to lead a community of people downtown where a lot of the protests have been happening. And he's been very clear. He says, this is not to protest. This is not to protest the protesters. This is simply to pray. This is to push out the darkness. That's what this is. That's to him. That's what this is pushing out the darkness. That's what we need to do. And that is what pray can be used for, is to push out the darkness. Which brings me back to Antonio. So Antonio in Buffalo, New York, watched on the news all of the stuff that was happening. And he saw Bailey Avenue, which is a local street in his community, one of the main thoroughfares, saw that it was covered with glass and garbage. And he realized that people would need to use that road to get to work the next morning. And so Antonio got himself a broom, got himself some trash bags, and at 2 o'clock in the morning went out to start cleaning up. He didn't stop for 10 hours. That morning, a bunch of neighborhood people got together, organized a cleanup crew, and when they got on the scene, they realized that Antonio had already done most of the work. Well, word spread. And this guy, Matt, happened to see the story on the news, and he looked up Antonio's Facebook page and saw that he was asking advice about car buying. And so Matt decided to donate and give his 2004 Mustang convertible to Antonio. It was a car that he had wanted to have for a long time, and Matt had it, and he realized that he didn't really drive it as much as he thought he would, and so he gave it to Antonio. Well, it was kind of cool, and Matt had no way of knowing this, but Antonio's mom, who passed away in 2018, she drove a red convertible. Well, then an insurance agent heard about this news and decided that their insurance agency would donate a year's worth of car insurance for Antonio's new car. A local college in Buffalo heard that he was saving up money for college. They gave Antonio a full scholarship to study business, which he will be starting this fall. His goal, one of his many career goals, is to open a cleaning business. You guys, we are at war with the dark side, which has convinced us that we're at war with one another. We're not. The good news, I do have some good news here. Just like the Wicked Witch of the West, who dissolved upon contact with water, the dark side has a fatal weakness as well. You know what it is? Light. When we shine our light to help others, especially when we shine our light to help others we disagree with or don't even like, our happiness grows. When we share our light, goodness comes back to us. When we share our light, good things happen and the universe rewards us, and God smiles down upon us. We may be at war, but we have the most powerful weapon at our disposal, and that is prayer. It is my belief that God can take evil and use it for good. And that is the opportunity that we have, is to use that tool we've been given to actually make a real difference. Because the reality is, it's not us that is making the difference. It's what happens when we are humble enough to say that we don't know all the answers. We don't know exactly what we're supposed to do. But we say, help. Help me see what I can do. Help me to know what to say. Help me to love my enemies. In this battle between light and darkness, the darkness does not stand a chance. Shine on.
I'm like teared up over here thinking of that Antonio story.
It's a cool story, isn't it?
And just full disclosure, I don't hear this part of Jason's program until you guys do. So I'm like, what? And then, you know, that it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah, I love the ripple effect of like that doing. Now, okay, this is a thing that's like obvious, but when you say it out loud, it's sort of like hilarious to think about. But like, do you think Antonio went out and said, I'm going to go clean these streets up and someone's going to give me a car? Like
at 2 a.m.
No,
No,
that's not how it works.
Right.
You have to give without expecting anything. And what's cool is like, it was like the story itself, like, oh, he got this car. That's awesome. But then it like other people saw what Matt did and they're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. We need to support one another. And then people saw what the insurance agent did. And it's like this, I hope that you share this video. I hope that you share this story. We'll have the link in the show notes when this is all over, because I hope that this cascade continues, that you hear about this and then you turn and do something awesome for someone else. But that's the thing that I mean, we talk about it a lot. Like, man, people don't realize like we're as if we're fighting each other, but
right.
we all want the same thing. We want an awesome world. We want a great, fair community. We want people to care about one another. We want our communities to be amazing. And we've somehow been misled into thinking that it's us that's the enemy. And it's a much bigger thing. And so, you know, I think for me that I don't know, like, again, I can only share what works for me. Your results may vary, but I know throughout this entire process of the coronavirus pandemic, to the lockdown and the quarantine, to all of the recent events of the protesting and the unrest and all of that, every day I have to start over again with prayer and be like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do next. And but it keeps us going. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and I see a lot of great comments. I don't know if you want to pull up a couple of
them.
Yeah,
what do you got here?
Yeah, just really appreciating the positive nature of your message tonight.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Helen, thank you, Helen. Let's see, Stephen, good words. I like the soup. It's like a boomerang effect. Mm-hmm.
Right. Lynn asked if this would be your insider this week, and it will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lynn.
I'll put this in our insider, which is the Adultitis Fighter Insider that comes out every Sunday morning. Last week I did the same thing, and so we'll have that again, and that's gotten really good response too from last week about anger and where this anger is coming from.
To this, right? Of talking about the anger and fear that we're all.
Jim says the light wins, and it certainly does. So thank you guys for all of that goodness. I see Jeannie says I needed to hear this. It's super cool. Brian, people see your light, they're attracted to your light, they want to be part of the light. It's true. It's true. That's
like the hope in the darkness that we share that today with the school district, with Suzanne, who's here, talking about how you're attracted to those little fireflies and that, you know, and that lightness.
You can't not help but see them.
Right. And even like when you have a little baby, we had babies around Christmas time and they would always stare at the Christmas tree, even though we knew they couldn't probably see it that far away, but they're attracted.
This is cool. I'm going to pull this up. Gina says, I'm writing with the words you suggested in a card tomorrow to someone I've been avoiding. That totally, that's awesome. I really
huge.
proud of you to do that. I think if we could, and I'm challenged by this myself. Like if we could all figure out who that arch enemy is that we think is the arch enemy, like
just gets under your skin,
and all made a point to do that, that would be a pretty cool
ripple.
Someone needs to come up with a good hashtag for like what that is. I don't know what that is.
Our
like,
creative Adultitis Fighters will
love your enemies, but that's like too general. But I don't know.
Right.
But keeping with this light thing, I think we should do some drawing because I think the drawing is fits really good with this theme today. All right, you guys. So what I thought we would draw today, and this is actually really easy to do, but it's a lot of fun because there's a lot of room for creativity. Is to share this sort of like stained glass shine on kind of a thing. And so basically, what I could do, and you can do this in any shape you want, which is cool. You could do it on the sidewalk. You could do it on any piece of paper. But basically, what you do is you start at the very bottom with kind of like a half circle. And this is a cool thing about that. Did you see how that did that?
Man.
So this is Procreate, which is a tablet app.
That was
if you hold down the thing and don't pick up your stylus, it knows you want it to look nice. And the same thing works with lines. So basically now I've got this little sun, and I'm just going to draw lines radiating out from the center. There we go.
Oh, that is the coolest
rad.
feature ever.
And you don't even want to know how long it took me to
do the kids know
figure out how to do that. Yes, they do.
Oh, man.
You know, I told them how to do that.
That is epic.
So the cool thing is here is there is no rules here. You just make as many lines as you want, and you just make them, again, radiate out from the center. And it's a good thing I'm using that because I'm drunk on soda.
Yeah. It's weird that you would drink baking soda tonight. That's gross.
Well, you drink an old man. So, all right. Now the next part here is you can just create any sort of shapes to connect some of these lines. And sometimes I put them close together. I'm actually gonna make this a little bit smaller to do just the varying rays here. It's not, my little line trick's not working for some reason. It doesn't matter. It's quicker for me just to do this.
Helen says too much pop will do that to you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Too much pop.
Right. So, and then you can do just, keep, I'm not sure why that's not working, but that's okay. Put these little lines. And again, I might make a line like here to here. Just divide it up however you want.
Does it make anyone else a little happy that a few of his lines aren't perfect? Or is it just me? Like, as the person who's always watching such talent, I'm always like, your lines, look at those two. Those aren't that great.
No, they're terrible. You got it. It's fine. There's no accidents.
Perfection is beautiful.
Happy accidents.
Right.
Now, of course, you got to put the little smiley face in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, the best part of all is then you can just decide whatever colors you want to add in here. Mm-hmm. So if I want a really bright color, Danny
Donut says back in the old days when we had this thing called a ruler. Remember you would use a ruler to do things? Like that would actually be pretty fun.
Those were the good old days, weren't they?
I know.
So you just throw in different colors. And what's neat is you can obviously, as I'm saying this as if anyone would not know this, is you can pick whatever colors you want. That's the joy of art.
Does it have to be yellow?
No. But this one looks pretty similar color. But when we did the little cards for people where they could download the Shine On card, that was one of the neat things was to see the different colors people used.
Yes.
And obviously I'm going with, a traditional sky kind of a thing, but you do whatever you want. That's what makes it kind of fun. And, it sort of taps into the love of coloring pages, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a way to make your own, is you just make up all these, and the more intricate you want to make the lines and the fractals, I think that's what they're called, between the...
Is that like Fraggle Rock?
Not at all. No.
Hashtag Fraggle Rock, anyone?
Purpley here.
Is that dating my late 70s birth.
Yeah.
And Rachel says hers are a little crooked too because she's using a Post-it note, so she doesn't have like an auto pen
Doesn't
thing, you know, right?
I'll allow it.
I love that purple. That's kind of a fun
That's pretty
color.
good.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to see, because people, have been sharing their creations with us, and I want to see what people come up with this week, because there's a lot of room for creativity with the colors and the shapes and all that good stuff.
Steven said, in the frozen fractals all around.
Yes.
Do you get that? Do you get that
I
reference?
get that reference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hashtag frozen.
All right. So I'm just not going to color all of these in, but you
Down
get the
with Fraggle
picture.
Rock.
So another thing I did, just to add a little whimsy in this one, is I added these little smaller pieces of red.
Oh,
and just do like little
That's in
squares
our window
in
too.
here. Yep. Just to add a little extra flair. And you can do, obviously, however you want.
Oh, yeah. Just mixing it up.
Put the little cheeks in there. So that's, you get the picture. But, I mean, I don't know what could be simpler. You guys could do this. So when you make that little card for the person in your life that you hate and put like a nice thing in there.
Wait, you never used the word hate earlier.
Didn't I?
No.
Oh, just dislike.
Hate's a bad word.
Dislike, right? the strong, intense feelings that you have. Then you can make your own little drawing and add a little whimsy to it.
I'm appreciating this painting in a whole new way. Now that I've seen that, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So we've got some studio stuff to share this week, don't we?
All right, I'm back in the studio, and Jason is hard at work. What do you have going here today?
Well, this is actually, we're approaching what would have been the Escape Adulthood Summit, which is a little bit sad because it was had to be postponed this year because of obvious reasons. And so one of the things we did, instead of just offering to give everyone their money back, which of course we did if they wanted it, but we invited people to join us next year. And as a sort of thank you for sticking with us and to ease the sadness of not being able to meet, I offered to make some little paintings for them. So we've got a variety of things that we offered. One of the things I offered to do was do artist trading cards of the Pop Culture People series that I do. So I've got a couple fun ones here. We got Ronald McDonald. It was kind of fun. This was someone, it was just a portrait of someone in our tribe who does balloon animals. So that is her. And we've got Tinkerbell here. I liked how that one turned out. And one of my favorite ones is Frida Kahlo. Yes. She's been kind of fun to work on. So that's one of Ben's favorite. That's one of them. Then we gave people the opportunity to upgrade. If they didn't want the trading card, they wanted to go next level with the wood panel. So this is someone's lovable dog that I turned into a Fisher-Price little person there. And then we also offered canvas paintings of some of my favorite, most popular paintings. So this one here is a take on Penguin Possible. That's cool. And this is going to be a nice little piece. This one's just about done. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kind of add a little texture in there. And this one I'm still working on, but those of you who know this one, Weeds or Wishes, I got the weeds in there, and I got to paint the dandelions and things like that, but that's going to be another one. So it's been a lot of fun to do a variety of art, and I'm excited for them to get into the hands of the people who decided to stick with us, and look forward to 2020 for the next Escape Adulthood Summit.
2020?
2020. I don't know what year it is. 2020, close enough. 2027.
I think Lynn may have seen her little people on the table there. So how fun is that?
Do I see my trio? Yeah, I've been working on that, Lynn. I can't wait.
It's so cute.
Steven's, yours is actually done, my friend.
Oh, yours is so good, Steven.
Is a fun one.
I can't believe how good it is. It is so good.
Yeah, it's been cool.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
I saw the weeds. You just have to put the little. We learned on our call today with the school district what the names of those those things
Oh,
are
yeah.
for the weeds. Do you
Do
remember?
you remember? No.
Papas?
Something like that.
Like papases or whatever. But anyway, the weeds and wishes. And now that you've
So not soda is?
No, but now that you've taught us how to do that a few episodes ago, maybe I can help, fill those in for you and take a little load off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but let's move on. I accidentally muted the thing. Let's see.
Let's go back to Kim.
I know. When I muted it I know exactly when it was. So let's go back to Kim. Turn this one off. Thank you for letting us know.
We can talk backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. A big shout out to Kim Stanfield McMillan, who is an art collector, collecting Jason's work. She literally had this on her wall like 2 days ago, and we were like, hey, can we borrow it for the show? And she's like, sure, come on over. So thank you.
It was very generous of her. It's cool to see it back in person again. You miss out on some of we talk about it, but seeing the original in person, there's something really cool about that. Yes. So,
and we didn't have to break the window out of the front of our house. So
extra bonus, yeah.
And of course, we had some amazing artists last week, including Amy, who did this from Michigan. She was on the road doing her little pins.
Yep.
Really
kind of did the circle technique because I think she said she didn't have that many colors, so she kind of.
I love the scribble on top though.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. Essie Ringley, check this out. She's got like a little character on the side.
I'm not sure what that little dude on the side is, but I like him, and I like the crown on this guy is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And going back. My remote's really not working that great tonight. Yeah, I think so. Tara also sent this in. This was a good one.
I love.
They're all good, too. But I just love seeing people's. We're all drawing the same thing, but everyone's own personality kind of comes out, which is kind of makes it. Yeah.
So if you want to send yours in, please email it to kj@escapeadulthood.com. We love seeing them. The kids always ask, who sends stuff in? So thank you for doing that. It's always fun.
Yes.
Our summary of 2020 is summarized in this beautiful slide.
Pretty much. That's what 2020 feels like, doesn't it? I thought the hot slide, you guys remember the hot slides when you go down and then like the metal was burning on you and you get the back of your legs? This takes it to the next level. Like, we've had hot slide years. This is a different level for sure. So let's talk about some of these adultitis fighters we're going to talk about.
I know Jim is with us here tonight. Jim, you sent this to us a while back, and I'm privy to the heart-shaped finds in nature. This is an amazing find that he sent on one of his wonder hunt experiences. So thank you for sending in the heart rock. Shannon Babb, who is a adultitis fighter out in, is it Utah, I believe?
I think so.
Out west. She is doing a cool virtual program where she's trying to help kids not be scared of wearing masks. So she's kind of putting them together with cosplay costumes and doing all this creative work to try to kind of bridge that gap between the need to wear them and kids who might not feel comfortable. So way to go, Shannon.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty creative. Angela, we could list like 10,000 things about Angela she's adultitis fighting all the time and sharing it. But we just gotta shout out to the hair. I mean, this is, yeah, right.
Pretty rad.
Right? So,
do you think I could pull that off? What do you guys think? Pink? I mean, there's not much to work with, I'll be honest with you. So that's part of the problem. Maybe if I fully go bald, I'll just spray paint my head a certain color,
So rock on, Angela.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think just the fact that you bring that joy to your outward expression brings joy to people. So way to shine your light, Angela.
Oh, Shannon is here. She says it is Utah. Good. So we got that right. Good memory, Kim.
Awesome. Very cool. Carolyn Straight shared this picture on the Escape Adulthood League. Basically, one of the fun things she was doing was having a craft soda tasting experience. And we did this last year at the summit.
Did you just say craft soda?
Oh.
Yes! Team Kim votes for Team Jason. You heard it here first.
That's what she called it. I just kind of had it in my head.
Sweet.
You trapped me. But no, so obviously you can
Craft pop.
You can kind of see that, like, the different, and even our local grocery, they have you just buy by the bottles. What a fun idea to add into like some weekend fun where you just get a whole bunch of varieties and get little cups and shot glasses or whatever and do a little taste test.
Yeah, it's like what we did at the summit last year with
except we had really weird ones.
Yeah,
like
I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago, but it's a good memory.
Grass,
it's a good memory. This one might be my favorite one of the week. From Charity.
Charity's brother, Dr. Ben, works for NASA, and he was a part of that launch that we've been talking about. And so she was celebrating him and just kind of, in awe of all that he's a part of. And she even made these cool little cookies that are like totally adorable.
Space themed.
And it's fun that Shannon's here because I know she's a space. I think her brother might work for the space NASA too, so that's kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always fun when you can make cutout cookies that theme with some part of your life. So she even made like a little astro hippo. So thank you for sharing that, Charity. That was super exciting. Congratulations to your family. I'm sure you guys are just so thrilled about all the excitement of that.
Yeah, it would be so cool to have someone that was involved in that
Ben?
and know all of the.
I know.
Secrets.
Maybe our Ben will be like a Dr. Ben someday.
That'd be pretty cool,
right?
And if you guys have any fun stories of adultitis fighting you want to share, or of any, feel free to send us an email at kj@escapeadulthood.com. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's time for a giveaway. I believe last week's winner of the Angry Eagle pillow,
Jan Jordan.
Thank
you, Jan.
Congratulations to you, Jan. We've already been in touch with Jan to get her the pillow, but we did say that we were going to give away the Shine On beach towel. That is too big for the screen.
Here's the question you have to answer to be eligible to win here live tonight. Oh, he's going to do like a little cape thing. Here's the question. You put soda on here to trap me again. What pop flavor?
What are you? I don't understand what you're trying to.
What pop needs to be invented that is not yet invented? So what flavor of pop would you like to drink? And just put them in the comments. We'll see if we get some kind of creative ideas here. The one I thought of right away would be licorice. That'd be licorice pop.
Like red licorice or black licorice?
Red, because I don't like black.
Twizzlers soda. That's cool.
Which would be good for your dad. Big
what
shout
would be a good one? You know what would be good? And I'm sure someone probably makes this, but I haven't seen it. We just had banana cream pie last night. Banana cream, because they make cream soda. Yes. That could be pretty cool.
That would be yummy.
I'd love to hear also, one of the things we like to ask is, what was your favorite takeaway from the show? So if you want to share that in here as well, we'd love to see feedback. If there's something funny,
it's like you're wrapped up in your own pain.
I'm camouflaged.
Like, what's happening? Out of the corner of my eye, I'm like,
it's a Harry Potter invisibility cloak is what this is. All All right, let's see what some of the stuff we've got here. Strawberry daiquiri.
Ooh.
Yes, I like the way you think.
Carbonated.
Rainbow sherbet. That's good. I like that. Mango.
Mm-hmm.
We got to vote for black licorice here from
Okay.
Suzanne.
Yeah,
There was one I saw that it went by so fast.
Moon.
And
The
I was
kids
like,
would
that's
love
pretty
that.
cool. Cotton candy. Oh, yeah, this one. Teresa, Sour Patch Pop. Oh, that would be really good. What about Nerds?
Oh,
Do they
I
have
just
a Nerds?
did that thing.
Did you?
Just by hearing sour.
Oh,
Nerds. That'd be good for your
Nerds.
brother. Mm-hmm.
Strawberry Starburst. It's very specific, but I appreciate the
pink one, right?
specificity of that.
That's the pink Starburst, not
Yeah,
the red.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ed says Oreo soda.
Ooh.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Jim's up for coffee.
Ah.
Shauna, cheesecake.
Ooh, that'd
I
be
wonder
good.
what kind, like just like the pure cheesecake,
Yeah,
or
that's interesting.
you could do a whole line.
Right.
Like blueberry cheesecake, strawberry
Cherry.
cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
Jill says razzle dazzle raspberry, like that. Wow,
Someone
we've got
said
some
rhubarb.
some good business ideas here.
I know. We could go
Doreen,
into the pop business,
rhubarb,
you guys. A pop business.
Chocolate coconut.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's very specific.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Frosted
Ooh,
Flakes.
Frosted Flake soda. Yes, please.
All right, where's the kids? I gotta get.
Sweet.
How about this one? Hey, Ian. Ian's here.
Aw.
Washing away of regret for things left undone flavor. Love that. Ian was one of the
That's awesome.
stalwarts who was with us in the early days of
Every
the
day.
coffee chats that we did when we first started this pandemic.
Which was early in the morning for him, right? Because he was in Australia.
I think so.
Yeah.
He would get in there.
Yeah.
Looks like Leah's putting in some of her big takeaway. Prayer is spiritual Swiss Army knife, and prayer pushes out darkness. Very cool.
That's an interesting soda flavor.
She said is what her takeaway was.
Ah.
Lisa Marie said favorite takeaway, Jason's talk in positive. That's cool. Just my head floating in midair,
It's
Steven.
freaky, right?
Totally.
It's not just me. This is a freaky moment.
Let's see. What does Helen say? Helen says, I like the suggestion of posting something positive on a person's page or sending them a letter.
Very
Right?
cool.
I think that would be fun. Gina's got I'm all in for Apple Jacks.
Apple
You had me at
Jacks.
cereal. Frosted
Yes.
Flakes, Apple
Cereal,
Jacks.
a whole cereal line of pop. Like pop cereal. Pops? Is that one of the cereals? Pops?
Every time you say pop, I'm like, I like lose track of what you're
what
talking
I gotta deal
about.
with,
I'm really
you guys.
confused.
This is
Really, really confused
I
about
think I
all
need
that.
to use my hands more.
Ian's Vegemite. Yeah, that's a big deal in Australia, right? That Vegemite
yeah.
it was not great, he says. Yes.
Vegemite. Oh man.
Very cool. Jenna says her dad calls it barley pop. I think she's talking about beer. My dad
Okay.
talks about that too, barley pop. You guys wanted barley pop. How about this? Glazed donut pop.
Ooh.
Again, what does she mean by pop?
No! Lisa, I'm with you. Lisa, Murray.
I don't know what she's talking about. Here we go. Pop rocks.
Oh, good to see you, Rachel.
That's a good one.
From California?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember Rachel. Yeah, sure. Well, this is fun. This is like my favorite part is reading all of the ideas people have for cool
you guys
thing.
Come up with some really awesome stuff.
I got to tell you, Kim and I have been doing some heavy thinking because we have, and I didn't tell you, I just now thought of this, but we have realized one of our favorite things to do is to create experiences. And it kind of seems fitting that with the Escape Adulthood Summit that was supposed to be happening this weekend,
I know.
not able to happen, we've been able to realize that we don't need to be in the same physical location to create experiences. But the connection is more important and as important as ever. And so we have been noodling away on something exciting that we're going to be launching very soon for our biggest fans and the people who are serious about not taking themselves too seriously, the people who honor their childlike spirit. We've got a really cool thing that we're working on that I cannot wait to share with you guys, and we will be doing that soon. But I wanted to give you a little teaser on that because it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm bursting at the seams
It will be
to share it.
another one of our Corona blessings, as we call them. They're popping up.
I think it's going to be a thing that you're going to want to get in on for sure. And one of the ways to be able to do that is to make sure that you are subscribed as an insider. So as we mentioned earlier, every Sunday morning we put out an issue of the Adultitis Fighter Insider. This week's issue will have basically a version of what I shared tonight. But it's also where all the cool people hang out and get the news that's fit to print. We want you to be a part of that, because that's where you'll find out about when we come out with new things like these invisibility cloaks, and when we come out with new shows, and when we come out with this new thing that we're planning.
Yeah, we put posts up, in the league and on Facebook, but we can't always guarantee that you guys see those. So that's the place to be, those Sunday morning emails for the insider, if you want to be in on the know.
So thank you guys for all of your patience at the beginning of the show. Those who were from at the very beginning when we had the little technical difficulties. Thank you to the people who jumped on. Thank you to all the people who are watching this as a replay. That is it for this show.
Actually, no,
it's not.
Free download.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
We changed it up this week.
This pop soda stuff got mixed. Maybe this soda is messing with your head.
Oh, the soda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Ian said that we should have Pop Rocks soda, which is confusing to me because he's calling it soda and putting pop in there. But I do love that idea.
Soda pop,
Rocks,
right? Soda pop.
So one of the things that you'll find in the Adultitis Fighter Inside Arsenal this week is the free download of A Chance of Awesome.
Right.
Yes, and it's down here. So some of you may know the story of our window and how that came to be, this piece of art. But if you don't, definitely download the book and check it out. Obviously, there's people on here that do, but yeah, that's one of the very last stories in the book is our Shine On story window, which happens to be one of the most powerful stories that we've experienced that we like to spread out there.
Yeah, it's got that, and then I think there's a picture of the window. Isn't there? There should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Yes, so that is our window that we have
our...
upstairs. It all started with a bullet that went through our front window. You read the story. It's free in the download that you can find in the Arsenal, which will either be in your Sunday email, the little password, or you can sign up for the Insider, and it'll be in the next one.
Yep, you'll get access to the Arsenal. And we had some requests recently, and we thought we'd offer this deal that went really good, and we're going to do it for another week.
Yes. So basically, a couple weeks ago, we said, you know what? People have been asking for bulk books to send out to clients or people in their lives that just need a real pick-me-up right now. I can't imagine anyone knows anyone that needs a pick-me-up or needs to see it with new eyes. So the deal was...
If you buy 10 or more books, we will give them to you for half price.
Yes, which is not a deal you can find on our website, but you can email us, which directly, and we'll hook you up directly with Jenna.
Yeah, it's usually a rate that we only give to clients who are ordering 100 books at a time, something like that. But for, in this time, we just want to get this message out to as many people as possible, which is why we are giving away the digital version for free, and we want to do this offer again for another week. So we'll be active for a week.
So let us know if you want to get 10 or more books. We'll hook you up with $10 each. And I think that is the rest of the show, right?
That is it for this show. Until next time, Adultitis Fighters.
Shine on, spread whimsy, and be awesome.